Hi everybody, it's Judy. Welcome back to Rose Lane. Tonight, I'm going to be starting an unusual thing, I think. I'm going to try to make a kind of small, flippy, flappy, out of a file folder, folio journal kind of thing. I don't know what that's going to turn out to be. It's kind of a tutorial. It's going to be a tutorial series on my Tuesdays for the next maybe 3 weeks or so, but it's also going to be kind of a craft along because I'm working it out as I go. I don't have a whole plan for what I want to do. I have a part of a plan for what I want to do. So I'm going to be using, if you watched my Sit a Spell Sunday a couple days ago, then you would have seen the papers that I was kind of showing because I was asking for opinions on what my next project should be. I'm going to be using the bee papers. So these are the summer bees from my porch prints, and I'm going to be using that to make this. And we're going to use a file folder for the base and some other things. So here's our file folder. So I took my brown mat off because it makes it kind of hard to see sometimes when it's just so plain. So this is what we're going to do. You can use a cutter if you have one. You can use, just measure and cut with a knife and ruler. I'm going to be using to cut this down because it's a full 12 inches for me without having to put up any arms. So ultimately, this file folder needs to be 16 inches open and 8 inches high. Okay, so we're just going to go ahead. I'm sorry if the arm's kind of coming up. We're going to go from the flappy ends because we want those cut off, the open end with the tabs on it. And we're going to put it on 8. Okay. We're going to keep it folded just like this. And we're going to put it on 8 and cut that off. Okay. So just put that stuff to the side over there. And then we're going to come this way and we're going to go to 8. So essentially you've got like an 8 by 8 square now. Okay. So 8 by 8, is that what I wanted? No, that's not what I wanted. Let's start again. I've got another folder. It's 8 by 9, I believe is what I was doing. Let me look because I was playing with one here. Yes, 8 by 9. That is what I wanted to do. Okay, so we're going to go 8 this way, fold it in half. I want to make sure it's straight because for some reason my stuff doesn't always come out straight. I don't know how many cutting boards. I have 1, 2, 3, technically 4, 5, like 6 different cutting boards, and it seems to me I can never get anything straight. So we're going to cut from the tab end, the open end, and make this 8 inches across. And then we're going to turn it sideways and go to 9. This likes to come down. And go to 9 inches. And then cut that piece off and just put that to the side because who knows, we may use it. And then what we're going to do is we're going to get a scoreboard. If you have a scoreboard, great. If you don't, you can just measure it out with a ruler and then run your bone folder along the edge of the ruler, and you can do it right on the mat as well. My scoreboard goes from right to left rather than left to right like most people do, because this is also a cutter as well. So I have to do it this way. The measurements are the same if you're putting them in this corner and going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I just have to put them in this corner. Okay, so we have, let me find, because I just covered up my thing. I have my little things here. So we have the open end to the right, and we have the folded end to the left, okay? So we're gonna come in and we're gonna go to 2 inches and we're gonna score down. And because this is, these are like dollar store file folders, so they're not very heavy. And I personally would suggest that because when you put glue and paper on top of it, it gets pretty thick and bulky and it gets pretty strong, so you should be okay. All right, so you're going to do 2 inches, then you're going to go to 7 1/4 inches. See, I just went out. Come on, stop that. 7 1/4 inches. Make sure I'm in the right line here. And then 7 1/2. Okay, 7 1/4, 7 1/2. Yes, 7 1/4, 7 1/2. Just want to make sure. Okay, that I'm in the right places. Then what I'm going to do is you're just going to flip it this way. All right, so the opening is still to the left, the fold is still, to the right, and the fold is still to the left. And then just go on this side because it dents it, but not very much. And because of the file folder, it makes it hard to fold. So I just flip it over and do the same thing. 2 inches. So we're just going over the lines that we just did on the other side. 7 1/4 inches. Okay, and 7 1/2 inches. Okay, so that's what we have there. And I'm not going to put this scoreboard far because I'm going to show you how to make a kind of envelope in a minute. So now I've got a piece over here that I did because I have it ready to go. But what you're going to do is you're going to open it up this way, okay? This is probably easier. And you're going, if you can just squeeze in on those lines, okay? The first set of score lines right there. It squeezes right in and it makes this, I don't know, this kind of edge, okay? Then you're going to go ahead and fold. You can find it easy enough. Okay. I'm gonna get a ruler because it is very close. So I'm gonna get a ruler and just put it on the fold line as best as I can to help me get started on the fold. Okay, there we go. All right, and then you're gonna fold that one in like so. Get that out of there and find my bone folder. And I'm gonna make sure that this is lined up, hopefully straight, because sometimes it just doesn't seem to be. All right, that looks pretty good. Get my crease there, and then go to the other side and do the same thing here. Okay. Get that even with the edge, hopefully. Okay. Just make sure before I give it a good solid crease. Okay. All right, so that's what we have, okay? So this, I'm gonna get it to go back down. I smush it back down, okay? This we are going to put some more card on, and we're gonna make a insert for the middle of this. And then this now makes your spine. Okay, does that make sense? I'm not sure if you can see that. Okay, that would then make your spine. So it comes out to be a 1/2 inch spine with this little flange in the middle. Okay, so, and then you're gonna fold these guys in on the edges. Okay, that way and that way. Okay. So that is your basic premise right there, okay? I'm gonna move this one to the side because what I already did on this one was I glued in, this was just an Amazon bag that you get, just an Amazon bag, the plastic. I'm using it like we would use Tyvek. So I cut a little strip, very staticky, but I wanted the glue to be set before we started working, okay? So what we're gonna do now is we're gonna take some glue and we are going to look at that fold there. That's where we wanna go. And we wanna glue this piece shut. Okay. And then while this is setting, we're gonna take it over. I'm gonna take you over to do the envelopes. I did one, And I just did these out of copy paper. Now I happen to have cream colored copy paper, which is pretty close to the same color as this file folder. Just because it matched and it was kind of consistent. So all you're going to do now is just pinch that shut. Okay, and I'm going to get a couple of clips out of my drawer here. Get a few clips. Okay, I'm trying not to shake the table because that will shake my camera. And I'm going to go ahead and just put these clips on to hold this while the glue sets. Okay, like that and like that. I'm going to move that to the side, and then let me find where I put it. It's here somewhere. I had it. Let me see. Well, I had one someplace. I'm not sure where I put it off to, but we can do 2 more. That won't be a problem. So now when I measured, let me clean up my glue. When I measured this paper, for some reason, it should be 8.5 by 11. That's what it's sold as. But it's like a 1/16 or maybe a little bit more, not quite an 1/8 of an inch shorter. So I'll show you what, because I kept, you know, doing it on the scoreboard here, and I kept having this overlap. So I ended up just trimming a little bit off the end. So what you're going to do here, my glue's in the way. What you're going to do here is put this on your scoreboard, if you have one, and take your bone folder, and you're going to now come in 1.5 inches, and you don't have to press quite so hard on this because this is just copy paper, but this is going to be covered with the papers that we're using. So okay, so we have that 1.5, and then you're going to go to 6 1/4 right here, 6 1/4. Okay, and then 9 1/2. I'm hitting the pile of paper over here. 9 1/2. Okay, and you're going to do that to 2. Okay, 2 pieces of paper. Okay, so 1 1/2. Okay, and this is the edge we're going to trim just a hair, but I'll show you that in a minute. 6 1/4. And then 9 1/2. Okay. I gotta watch my camera because my battery is a little low. So we did 2 of those. Okay. So now what you're gonna do is you're gonna take your paper, you're gonna fold it on the middle score line. Make sure that it's nice and neat. Okay, you're going to fold this top flap down. Make sure that it's straight. Okay. Then this top piece is also going to come down. Now this is where I was running into my problem because it was hitting too close. Actually, right now it looks okay. It looks fine on this one, so I won't have to trim it. Let me show you. There's a gap, and the gap is what you want, okay? So that it doesn't interfere. So I'm just putting a piece of coffee paper in here so you can see, okay? You can see that it's got a gap in there. And that's what we do want. Why it didn't work on my first one, I don't know. Put that to the side. Fold this in half again. Okay, well, not in half. You're folding it mostly in half. And then you're going to fold this one down. Okay, try to get that good. And then this one goes down. It's easier for me to turn it this way, so that's what I'm doing now. See, this one is overlapping. I don't get it. It's overlapping just a hair. You can see that, okay? So all I'm gonna do is just take that top edge. I'm gonna get my little knife thing here, And I'm just going to cut tiniest little edge, just a wee bit off the edge. Just that little curl of paper, that's all. And now it won't touch, okay? And that's fine. That's what we want. I'm trying to get this back in, I can't see it. Okay, the next thing we're gonna do, you're gonna open this up and you're gonna measure in a 1/2 inch from the bottom. Okay, this is the bottom of the envelope, as it were. Okay, we're gonna come up a 1/2 inch. It doesn't matter which side, I'm just doing it this way. Because we're going to put, pencil, here we go. We're going to put glue in here. Okay. That 1/2 inch. And I'm just going to draw a very faint line so I can see what I'm doing. We're going to put some glue in here, and we're going to glue a 1/2 inch of this envelope closed. Okay? And I will explain in a minute why we do that. Okay, so just put some glue in there. Don't go past your 1/2 inch line. Stay a little bit in, especially if you're using glue that spreads like the 3-in-1 or Fabri-Tac or tacky glue. I mean, it all kinds of spreads actually, but you want to stay in the line a little bit, okay? As if, you know, you're making that the bottom of your, like it would have been your fold, okay? And you're just going to go ahead, and it's okay if your paper's thin and you see that little pencil line because we're covering it, okay? Of course, I just made a mess here. This doesn't come off of my mat as easily as it comes off of my silicone mat. But like I said, because this was all kind of similar in color, I took that mat up. Next video, you'll see it down. Okay, so we have that. Okay. Then, and we're not going to glue this shut yet because we want to put papers in. So we're going to move that to the side. We're going to come up a 1/2 inch here as well. And you can do this by eye if you're really good at that. I'm not. So I need, you know, guidelines as much as possible. So I'll just go ahead and use my guidelines. Make it a little bit neater for me. I admire people who can just wish, and they get it all done. It's like, I can't do that. Wish I could, but I'm a little slower. Just gotta pace it for me. I'm not real quick with some of this stuff. So, glue that down there. Now, I've chosen some papers to do the bases with, and then we're going to decorate on top of those pages. I don't know what pages I'm going to put where. I have chosen the ones that I want for the cover, which is the ones you saw at the beginning, but I'm not sure how we're going to cover these, okay? These are also going to get a hinge on them. So let me cover up my glue, and I'm going to show you why we glued the bottom. Now, I'm going to take this one. Should be set. It's over here. Okay, so now we've got that. So when we close this, this is going to close like this, and this is now your spine. Okay, that should make sense. We've got a 1/2 inch spine here with a little glue hanging out. Get that off. And then inside, you've got this flange, okay? And we're going to work on that later. So what we're going to do with these, what's going to happen with these, I'm trying to make sure I get all the glue off of here. These are going to go in here, okay? And I know you can't kind of see that. So let me just put some paper down here so you can have an idea, as if this was the edge of this by the fold. And this is going to go in here. All right, a certain amount. Now, how we're going to measure that is we need to close this, okay? And then we'll know where to glue this. So what we're going to do first, and what's going to happen here, and why we glue this and I can't do it now, is this is going to get a little notch because it needs a little more room to be able to take a tag in and out. So essentially what you'll have is a tuck spot here. Make sure I'm on camera here. You'll have a tuck spot here, a tuck spot here. This will open and you'll have a place in here. So now you'll see it can only go down this far, and this is where the notch is going to be. Okay, that's why we had to glue it shut. And then when you turn it over this way, you will also have a tuck spot here. Okay, that's what we're going to be doing. So for right now, let me see my time. We're going to work on just putting papers on the front covers. So I am at 20 minutes. Okay, I only had about 40% battery on my what do you call it? Camera on my phone. Let me grab this cutter. Yeah, my scoreboard's down there going, I want to be used more. It slides all over the floor. I'm going to get these cut down as quickly as I can. So this is sort of a a process video, I guess. Only I don't know the process yet. I only know part of it. I don't know how things are going to play out as we go along. You know, how they're going to, what I'm going to end up adding, and, you know, how I'm going to do different things and stuff. It's going to be a surprise. So we'll figure it out as we go. It's part of the fun, isn't it? So this basic idea with the 16 inches and the flaps coming in, this came from Yvonne and Yvonne Preston. And she had envelopes that kind of did this. They came up and had the adhesive, and then you could put the flap over like that. So I didn't have any like that, but I liked what she did with them, so I made my own. That's what we do. If we don't have it, we make our own. See, this is not quite all the way sealed down, so I'm just squeezing a little bit more. Okay, let me cut this one because these are going to be our cover papers. Glue on my fingers now. I just got it on my paper. No. Okay. We'll cut this one down. Okay. There we go. Doop. Get this side down. Move over. Okay. So yeah, so it looks like it's going to be the sewing papers from My Porch Prints, but I really do love the bees, and they're such springy colors. I know it says summer bees. I think that the other bee journal that I had done was a little bit more summery, warmer tones, but with these pinks and pastels and pale colors and stuff, this isn't going to go far because I'm going to need it again. I thought, you know, I thought this would really be nice. So what we're going to do real quickly, if we can, look, my ink came. Yay! I have my ink. We're going to go ahead and ink the edges. Oh, that's my husband. Sounds like he's going upstairs. You hear the clunking, because the stairs are right above me. Okay, we're just going to get all our edges inked quickly. They don't have to be perfect because they're going to be covered, okay? But we want to try to get all of them if we can. Making a lot of noise. Got a little, I think that was a dog hair that I found. And since my dog, you know, we lost him in September, he had very, very bad cancer, and we just had to let him go, which is heartbreaking to me still, as it is with all of my animals, as it's been with all of my animals. Trying to open this up so I can get this inked on the spine end. So every now and then I don't know where they come from, they just pop up. And, you know, I was always eager to vacuum them all up while he was here, but not so eager to let them go now, you know. So I found it before, and I put it up here on my desk. I must have picked it up with something, and just put it back over there again. Keep it there. Not worried about this because we're going to cover this too. We do want the inside done as well. So, get down there. Okay, this part. Just going to do it quickly. Not worried about that. This is, I better do it because I don't know what you will or what you won't see at this point. So we'll just ink it. What's a little more, right? Just go ahead and ink it, but we do have to get this bottom. Alrighty. Like I said, it doesn't have to be. I'm so excited. I got new sponges. I got new ink. Woohoo! It's great. Okay, we'll do this. Get that little piece there. And I am going to do in these creases because, again, I just am not sure at this point. Once I glue things in place and all that jazz, I just don't know what's going to show and what's not going to show. So we're just going to go ahead and get these as well. Almost there, guys. Okay. Go around this side. Whoop. And then this one. I don't think you see these, but just in case something shows, we will be covered. Okay, good? Good. Okay. That's good. Let's put that back up here. All right. And then what we're going to do here, I'm going to just fold these in because I don't need them right now. Okay. And we can lay that flat and then put the paper where we're going to want it to go. So that's our spine. Let me just, well, all right. I'm just going to kind of put a pencil line here. Okay, so you can see that that's the spine. We don't have to worry about that right now. So we're going to go up to the spine with this, right up to that fold line. It butts up against the fold. You can feel it hit, okay? I'm going to put a whole bunch of glue on the page here. Let me take that, put that over there. Oops. And let's go ahead and glue her up. We're going to glue it up. Okay, right up to that edge. Okay, like I said, I apologize if I'm kind of rushing through. I'll try to remember to put the measurements in the description box. We'll see how good I can do, maybe with the measurements written out there and my commentary, you know, my narration in the video. It may make sense. Hopefully it'll make sense to you. Okay, so we're going to go ahead, put this right on here. I'm still not finding the what do you call it? Pull this down a little bit because sometimes my papers don't cut straight, which is fine. You can always trim. Okay, whoops. Get my pencil out, get my ruler out. Okay. I hope I'm not oozing out too much glue onto my board here. Oh, nothing at all. Very nice, very nice. Okay. So here, I'm going to use my knife again because this is easier for me. I admire, again, people who can take their scissors and cut right along. I can't do it. I always cut the cardboard, or I don't cut close enough or something. So I just find it easier for me to do this. And by the way, this is a wonderful little knife. If you have problems holding on to the, you know, to knives and it hurts your hands and things like this, this has been working wonders for me. Let me get a longer ruler. Here we go. It makes it really easy to cut. So I want to make sure I don't cut that fold, because, you know, I'm good at that. I think I'm good. I didn't feel any resistance. All right, now this one, go ahead and find my little scissors. Here they are, buried over here on the side. And I'm just gonna go ahead and trim this piece with the scissors because I think I can be okay. I'll never get that with the knife probably. So I'll just do that from here. And the reason why this is hanging off, two reasons. One, like I said, my printer seems to, no matter what printer I use, always seems to print a little off. And two, I'd rather have a little overhang that I can work with. Okay, so there's the first cover. It's gonna be the first side, right there. Pretty, pretty, pretty. All right, now we're gonna take the other paper that we had and we're going to do the same, okay? We're gonna glue this down. Okay. Right up to that little fold line. That will be the spine. Whoops. Right off. And they let me drive. My. Okay. Get that glue on. You can do this with tape if you have the double stick tape. I hear a lot of people saying that the tape will eventually dry out and crack and let go. You can use tape and glue together if you feel better about that. Because when I first started doing anything, I was looking at scrapbook stuff mostly. And you know what I think I want to do? I think I want to get this rose in more. I'll cut the bottom off, but I'll get this rose in more on here. So I'm just going to line it up with the edges this way this time. Okay, with that fold right there. And I want to be in just a smidge. We don't want to go over that fold if we can help it. Okay, let's go ahead and spread this way. Oh my goodness, there's stuff underneath. Okay, am I still? Oh yes, good. I'm still videotaping. This is a good sign. I'm just worried about it running out, that's all. And that would be not good. That would be not good. Okay. All right. Try to get back there. Okay. There's some glue here. I like to try to keep this mat a little clean. All right. So what we're going to do here then is take my long ruler. I do have to be a little cautious because of the extra bulk here with the flange. So I have to make sure I hold my ruler down really, really tightly against the board and cut very slowly. Yeah, see, I'm a little on that flange, but that's all right. That is all right. All right. If it doesn't come off completely, and it does, that will work. All right. Now I'm going to come up here and cut this edge, and then I will go from the other side and cut the overlap, because now it's overlapping the front. And I'm holding this a little close to me so I can see this very little hair of a hair edge that I have hanging over. And I know you probably can't see most of this, but okay. See, it was so thin, it was like not even coming off in one piece. Okay, now we have to get this piece off. So in order to do that, we will fold it this way. Okay, and we'll go ahead and put this down here. Okay, and then carefully, so hopefully I don't cut any folds, because if I do, I have a problem. Didn't quite get this one straight. There we go. Okay, so at this point, looks like I need to, yeah, I think I want to try to, well, I need to be really careful with this edge because it is a little over just the tiniest bit. So, gotta get that piece. This is easy at the ends. When you gotta get into the middle, it's much harder. So, to try to keep the blades straight. And I would use longer scissors, except I don't have, well, I'm sure it can be done, but for me, I feel I just can't cut these fine little pieces with a larger pair of scissors. The blades are too thick, and I just can't seem, that looks pretty good. All right. I just can't seem to be able to do that. So, okay, so that's what we have so far. This is probably going to get some lace. What I will probably do here is I'm going to try to reinforce this a little bit so it holds a little flatter. Check my time, and I'm still videotaping. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead here, and I'm going to try to cut a piece that's going to fit in here. So this should be about 1/2 inch. So I'm going to cut a piece about 3/8 of an inch. Trying to think what's the easiest way. Probably this one. Okay, let me cut an end off here because I need a straight top. And then I'm going to try to go, this is a 1/2. So let's try to go about here. Now this doesn't want to hold very straight against the top because it's such a narrow piece. So I'm trying to keep the same distance here all the way down. If that makes any sense. Okay, I'm going to cut that piece off. And then I'm going to cut this at 9 inches. May have to trim it. Okay, well, I'm not going to get 9 inches on there, am I? Okay. So this is what we're going to do. We're going to go ahead and just use my little mat here. I am covered with paper. And I'm just going to snip it right here at that 9-inch mark. Boop. Okay. Oh my gosh. Got all these little curly cues all over me. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to just glue this down in here. And that's going to keep this, hopefully, from trying to bend back. Okay? So we'll have that. And while this is setting, I can't really go back and forth because I've got a ridge here, so I've got to do this kind of weird thing with this. It's not quite as wide as the spine, but as this whole 1/2 inch, it's just a smidge smaller, but I just want to put something to try to help keep it from folding back in on itself. And this, of course, does not have to be inked, maybe on the bottom, the top and the bottom. Try to get that in the middle somewhat. And then if it hangs over, we'll just trim it down a little bit. So in the meantime, so now that should keep it straight, okay? It doesn't want to go in on itself again, and that's fine. So, and like I said, this is going to be covered, so not sure. Everything's rattling on my desk. All right, we're going to put this to the side, and we're going to work on one of these envelopes. Now, I may or may not make them the same. I don't know, but we have to decide what we want. So I'd like this to be one, this another, this another, and this another. Probably what's on here will also be what's on the front here, okay? And I'm not sure with this how we're going to do what we're going to do. But we're going to work on the inside first. So I think what I would like to do is do, how about this B1? Not B1, of course it's a B1. It's got honeycomb on it. And it's very pretty and very subtle. So let's go ahead, and if anything crashes, I apologize, because I've got all these the scoreboard and the cutters and all these things just lined up over here, leaning kind of on each other. All right, so let's go ahead. I'm still looking for these little blades. Haven't found them yet. I'm probably just going to end up ordering more. And, you know, of course, what will happen is as soon as I order more, I will find them. Not like I won't use them, but, you know, I had like 3 or something. I don't know where they are. Oh, it'll be so nice when we don't move anymore. I'll tell you, when I finally have a space where I can put everything and it'll stay there, you know, for the rest of my life. That will be marvelous. Okay. So let's go ahead. I'll probably bring this back up because I'm not going to be able to get rid of the scoreboard. Hang on one second, guys. This is one of those collapsible ones. And, you know, like I said, with this cutter on it, it's backwards and takes a little getting used to, but it does work. Okay. So let's get our envelope. And we're going to go ahead and I'd really like you to be able to see. Well, I guess it doesn't matter because one's going to go one way and one's going to go the other, right? Right. Okay. So for cutting's sake, because this is going to be glued along the sides here, let's do it this way. Let's do it this way. Okay. I'm not going to go all the way up the flap. Yes, I am. Yes, I am. Okay. All right. So let's go ahead. I'm going to put it in as best as I can down to where I can feel that glue. So let me come out a little bit more. And I am putting it all the way down, mostly for consistency's sake, so it feels right. You know, it feels normal all the way across. So, and it doesn't feel like you've got a ridge or anything like that, because I may on the back here put just something to a place to write, you know, make it like a journaling page or something. I don't know. I just don't know. So I've got this not quite. All right, that's good enough. All right, and I'll go ahead and I'll just use the knife here a little quicker, I think. So there's probably not going to be any real logical place to stop with this. We're just going to stop when I feel like I've gone long enough and I can, you know, possibly trust my battery to stay. And then we will just continue this next Tuesday. So I may do some stuff off camera just to maybe do the design. I don't know, but I will show you what I am doing if there's any measurements needed. And we'll go ahead and do that. So, okay, so this is going to go in, and I think what I'm going to do, actuality, I think what I'm going to do is, let's put this in here. I'm going to have to trim this, I know, which is fine. Let me put this down here, and I am going to mark where the fold is, because I do not, just trying to line it up with the edge of the paper here. I do not want to fold this. I want to go ahead and trim it so I have 2 pieces. I think it folds better that way. And in this case, I'm going to take my cutter because I only have one mark. And I just think it works nicer that way. So we're going to go ahead here. Make sure that I am straight. And we'll trim that one off. Well, not trim it off, we'll cut that one off. Okay. And now, let me get this out of the way before I hurt myself. We're gonna go ahead and I'm going to just ink this edge. And I'm not doing a lot of heavy inking, just a little bit. This shouldn't show inside the envelope, but just in case. I don't know, and I'm not worried about the bottom because that will be inside the envelope, so that doesn't bother me. Okay, so we're gonna glue this one down in here, and that is inside that fold, as you can see, okay? So let's go ahead and glue that, and we'll get that down. Okay. And probably what I may do during the week a little bit, because, you know, I am working on another project too, kind of going consecutively here, or simultaneously, I should say, not even consecutively. But those, you know, I work on the one that I do on Sunday during the Sit a Spell Sunday chats. I just sort of, whatever I'm working on. It's not meant to be a tutorial, it's just me working while I talk. And but then on Tuesdays I want to show you what it is I'm actually doing, and there may be times when I'm doing something for that regular journal that I may do on a Tuesday, but in this case I wanted to do something a little bit differently. So I'm going to take this and we're going to slide it in here and all the way down if we can, so that we're past that fold. Bring it up a little bit more on this side. I'm trying to make it even so it looks relatively even. Okay, so that is now the inside there, and then we're going to go ahead on this one, and that, oops, pencil mark, and since that's my pencil mark, I know it's going to go this way. Get rid of these little bits. I'd like to try to match it if I could, so this has got to be inked all the way around. I'm hoping I'm not too far off camera with this. Okay. And it may need to be trimmed, and if it does, we'll just re-ink, and that should be fine. But we should be okay for the most part. All right, there we go. And then this one is going to go here, okay? Just like that. Just like that. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to put the glue on the envelope, and then I'll put the, whoops, I'll put the strip down on top of that. Okay. And I'm not sure if I'm going to be using the exact ephemera as it is in some of these pockets and things. I'm not really sure. Or if I'm going to layer things up or do something else, or I don't know. I don't know. This is probably the better way to go. So let's try to do that. Okay. Try to make that even. Okay. Leave that little bit of a gap. Okay. I know, now I've got all the glue bits in the crease here. All right. All right, there we go. So that's that. How we doing? Ooh, ooh, it's telling me low battery, though I know that it's still videotaping because this has happened to me before. Okay. All right. And that goes back this way. And we can see where we need to trim, okay? And I'm going to try to do that. Let me cover this up. I'm going to try to do that with my knife because it goes a little quicker. for me. More quickly, I should say. Okay. Alrighty. Go ahead and trim that piece off. I'm going to go here because I see there's a hairline of a trimming that needs to be done here. Okay. Yeah, so these would work, you know, as envelopes. Because like I said, there are envelopes that look like that. But you can make your own out of an 8.5 by 11 inch paper. You can make your own out of an A4. The measurements are just slightly different. So, and all I did was kind of fold it to where I wanted it, and then I measured it to see where that was and made any adjustments I thought I needed. So we have that, okay. We have that one so far. All right, now let's see. What else? What else? What else would we like? Trying to think what other, I mean, I could. This is going to be a tuck spot. This is not going to be tall enough, so I have to use the other one because I printed some portrait, and then I printed some I'm not sure how we're going to want that to go. But for right now, that's what we have. I can glue this shut now at this point because I've got the paper inside. So I can do that. So let's get some glue and we'll glue this down. Okay. And probably what I will do is I'll do the other envelope. You know, I'll finish one and then finish the other one off on camera so you can see how I did all of that. Okay. So one will be finished and ready to go, and one will, which is probably going to be this one. Oh, look at me. I'm not thinking. One will be finished and ready to go, and this one will be the one I'll finish off on camera because you've seen this so far. So I'll show you the rest of it, but the other one will be finished. Okay, so that's that. One other thing I'm going to do here right now is I'm going to go ahead and ink these edges just to be sure. Now I'm not going to cut the notch in here until I have the paper on. So I'm going to ink this anyway, just for consistency's sake. Again, it does not have to be perfect. Okay. I know I'm flipping and flopping around. I'm probably making you seasick. But I'm still trying to decide what I think I would want to do with the rest of this. So what I'm using on these really is the what she would call her papers. She has her pages, which have the designs, and then her papers like this, which, you know, are whole sheets, which you can also use as pages. You know, they're meant to be like backgrounds or something like that. So, oh, other side. I got to do this one too, right here. Okay. So I'm thinking, this doesn't really matter which way it goes, so okay, we're good. I'm thinking maybe I would put the stripe in the middle and put something else on either end there. So let's go ahead and trim this down. I think I have a few more minutes. Maybe I can at least get this part of the envelope done. Okay. So just cut off a little bit of that, but that's okay. That is okay, because we're using it for whatever, right? Yes, we are. Come on. I said it's got this coating on here, and it's made so that the paper won't slide. Well, then you can't get the little pieces up off the board, but, you know, I guess I'd rather have that than not. So you can see all the little scratches from me trying to get the paper up here. All right, let's put that down there. You could see I've got black pants on. I'm covered with all this lint. Okay, so this one is going to go here. All righty. So we're going to go ahead and glue that down. Okay. And if for some reason I misjudge the timing on how much time is left on my phone and this stops abruptly, this video stops abruptly, let me apologize now for an abrupt stop if I push this too far. So hopefully that won't be the case, but we'll see. Hopefully I will be able to at least get part of this done. Okay, and what's going to happen to keep this pocket closed is we're just going to make a little tuck where the this piece will tuck under a little thing that's here. So that's what we're, you know, a little decoration, a little bit of something. Trying to make sure that I don't go out the back with the glue. All right, this can go over here. And we're going to go ahead and cut and make sure that, well, you know what? That's not going to be easy. So I'm going to have to do this one with the scissors because I just don't trust. Okay, yeah, I'm going to have to do it with scissors. Not easy, but I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. I'll get in there. I'm going to come in a second a little closer to the camera because I just realized I pulled this in really close to me, so I'll just have to get closer to the camera. Let's hope. Might be a good idea. I'm thinking on the second one, before I glue it shut, to do everything and then glue it shut at the end. Then I think I would have easier access to this because I'd be able to lay it flat, if that makes sense. And then I could cut it with the knife and not have to try to do it with my scissors, which still didn't come out bad. Okay, let's go ahead, get some ink on this edge. Okay. So I think it's going to be kind of cute when it's done. I'm hoping it's not going to take a long time to do. I'm trying to get to this edge. Just doesn't want to let me in. Yes, definitely second envelope. Don't glue it shut until you have got all your papers on. Probably the better idea. Okay, so now I have to decide what's going to go on here, and I am thinking this one. And this will then go here and probably something else here, and this is going to go around the back. So then I'm just trying to think, what else do I have? Oh, maybe that. Maybe that. Yeah, okay. Okay, that's gonna go. Yeah. I like that idea. I'm pulling one of my containers of, what is that? Trim. As I'm trying to pull this out, I'm pulling the, can't figure out why this isn't coming, because I'm grabbing a container and not this. So, okay. Alrighty. Oops. Okay. Yeah, so I think all I'm going to do for right now is I'm going to get this piece on the front, well, not on the front, but on the flap of the envelope. And we're going to stop it there. Because I'm not sure which one I want to put. Maybe I'll put some of this as well on the other side of the stripe. I don't know, but I also have to figure out the flap and how, or the hinge, and how I want that to go. So I am going to put that on there. Yay! Now this one, did you hear that? I just flung, I hit the end of the ruler, the big long ruler that was sitting on my desk over here. It was hanging off, and as I put the cutter down, it hit the ruler and it just bloop and flung it right behind me. So it's like, I don't know, about 4 feet behind me on the floor now. Nothing like having to rush. But anyway, so we'll go ahead and do this. And I mean, again, you can cover this with the same color. You can make it out of, you know, cardstock or paper that's printed on it already. The reason why I'm doing it this way, one, is because I wanted the different patterns, and two, because this makes it stronger by having 2 layers with the, you know, 2 layers of paper with the glue in between. It makes it stronger. So this is the way I want to go. Let's move that out. I want to have this little pretty rose up here. So we're going to go ahead, put that down. Make sure it's up at the edge there and over at the edge here. Such beautiful papers. I mean, she has beautiful papers at My Porch Print. She really does. But I don't know. I think, and I can't tell you how many of her kits I have. I must have 50. I'll have to try to go into my computer and count, and I can tell you exactly how many of them I have from her. But I think these background pages, these and the ones in the sewing one that I'm going to be doing, they have got to be my favorites of all of the pages that she's ever done. They're just so lovely. The colors are just beautiful. Sorry. The colors are just beautiful, and they print, at least for me, I think they print lovely and just fabulous. I'm thrilled with these papers. So, yeah. Okay, so I got a little bit of an edge here. Like I said, I usually tip my knife in a little bit to make sure I get as close to the edge of, you know, like the card or whatever it is I'm trying to cut. I keep forgetting I'm going out of camera, but I'm so afraid that by doing that, I will cut just a hair into the fold, and then I'll ruin the whole piece. So I usually end up having this little bit left over. And I know there are people who can measure it and measure it beautifully. I am not one of them. So that's what we have there. How are we doing? Oh, it's still saying low battery, so I'm probably down to 10%. Okay, there we go. All right, I'm just going to ink this edge, and we are done with this one for the night. I'll work on some stuff during the week, and we will go from there. And yeah, and we'll start putting this little baby together. So that's what we have so far on here. So this is our cover. And this is our envelope so far. Let me get that out of the way. And this is upside down. But that's what we have so far. So we'll work on more of this next week. So in the meantime, guys, be safe, be happy, and be blessed. And I will see you in the next video. Bye-bye for now.